In the quiet town of Northwood, where everyone knew everyone, Liam, Maya, Ethan, and Chloe had carved out their own universe. It was a universe that existed mostly in the glowing rectangles of their phones, inside a private group chat they had named the Inner Sanctum. For 5 years, it had been their digital fortress, a place safe from the judgment of the outside world. Here, they shared their dreams, their fears, and, most importantly, their unfiltered humor. Liam was the architect of that humor. His wit was sharp, his observations cynical, and his memes were legendary within their small circle. He could find comedy in anything, a skill his friends cherished. Maya, his best friend since they were kids building forts in her backyard, was the group's heart. She was empathetic to a fault, the one who knew when a joke was just a joke and when it was hiding a deeper pain. Ethan was the hype man, always the first to laugh and the quickest to share. And Chloe was the quiet observer, the one who saw everything. They were perfectly balanced, a small tribe navigating the complexities of young adulthood, convinced that the walls of their sanctum were impenetrable. The town's latest project was a source of local pride, a community mural painted on the side of the old library. It was organized by a group of dedicated volunteers led by a kind, retired art teacher named Mrs. Gable. The result, unveiled in the local newspaper, was a vibrant but chaotic explosion of color. It was earnest, full of heart, but technically, it was a mess. Liam saw the article and his mind immediately went to work. It was too easy. He downloaded a picture of the mural, opened his editing app, and skillfully photoshopped the face of a famously harsh art critic onto one of the painted figures. In a speech bubble, he added the critic's most famous line, "A triumph of enthusiasm over ability." He posted it in the Inner Sanctum with the caption, "Honored to have such culture in our town." The reaction was instantaneous. Ethan sent a string of laughing, crying emojis. Chloe replied with a simple, "Oh no, you didn't." Even Maya typed, "That's mean, but I can't stop laughing." For a few minutes, inside their private world, the joke was a masterpiece. It was classic Liam, understood by the only people who needed to understand it. Ethan, still laughing, thought it was too good not to share. "The world needs to see this," he typed. He took a screenshot, uploaded it to his public Instagram story, and tagged Liam. He never considered the consequences. He just wanted to share the laugh. By the next morning, Liam woke up to a digital inferno. The screenshot had been reshared from Ethan's story onto a popular town Facebook page. The caption there was simple and damning. "Is this what the youth of Northwood think of community effort?" The context was gone. The inside joke was now a public spectacle. Liam's phone became a vessel of vitriol. Comments flooded his old public social media profiles. "I know your parents. They must be so proud," one said. "My 8-year-old daughter helped paint that. I hope you're happy," said another. At the grocery store, he felt people staring at him, whispering. The digital shame had crossed into the real world. The worst part was the official statement from the volunteer group. Mrs. Gable, her face visibly strained in the video, spoke about how disheartening it was to see their hard work, hundreds of hours of free time, become the subject of cynical online mockery. She didn't name Liam, but she didn't have to. The entire town knew. The joke wasn't just a picture anymore. It had a face, and it was his. Liam was sitting in a coffee shop, trying to ignore the world when Maya walked in. He expected sympathy. He was the victim, he thought. "This is a nightmare," he said before she could even sit down. "Ethan is an idiot for posting that. Now the whole town thinks I'm some kind of monster." Maya didn't sit. She stood by the table, her arms crossed, and her expression was one she had never seen before, not anger, but a deep, profound disappointment. "They don't think you're a monster, Liam. They think you're cruel, and right now I'm struggling to disagree with them." The words hit him like a physical blow. "What? It was a joke, Maya. A joke for us. You laughed." "Yes, I did. In private, for a second," she admitted, her voice low.
But it stopped being a joke the moment it left our chat and hurt people. Real people. I saw Mrs. Gable at the post office this morning. She looked crushed. Did you think about her when you made it? Did you think about any of them? Of course not. It wasn't for them, he shot back, his voice rising. Why am I the only one who gets that? Why are you, of all people, turning on me? Because I've always been the one to defend you, she said, her voice finally cracking with emotion. I'm the one who tells people, oh, that's just Liam's sense of humor, he doesn't mean it. But this time you did mean it. You meant to make fun of it. And you're so busy feeling sorry for yourself that you can't even see the damage you've caused. It's not about the joke anymore, Liam. It's about your refusal to see past the end of your own screen. She turned and walked out, leaving Liam alone in the crowded coffee shop, the silence between them louder than any online comment. The fallout was immediate. The inner sanctum went silent. Ethan sent a frantic, apologetic text to Liam, but the damage was done. Chloe tried to play peacemaker, but the group was fractured. Liam felt like an outcast in his own tribe. He tried to hang out with them a few days later, but the air was thick with unspoken words. The easy banter was gone, replaced by a tense, awkward politeness. He was truly alone. The online hate was faceless, but the disappointment in Maya's eyes haunted him. He kept replaying her words, each one a fresh sting. He had always been the funny one. It was his identity. But what if his humor was just a shield for a careless cruelty he never knew he had? For the first time, he wasn't thinking about defending his joke. He was thinking about its victims. Conclusion: the echo of responsibility. That night, Liam didn't sleep. He sat in the dark, the glow of his phone illuminating his face. He opened his browser and found the contact page for the community volunteer group. He typed an email. It wasn't witty or clever. It was simple, honest, and the hardest thing he had ever written. He apologized for his carelessness, for his lack of empathy, and for the hurt he had caused. He offered to volunteer for their next project, to help clean up or paint, whatever they needed. Then he opened his chat with Maya. He typed, I sent an email to Mrs. Gable's group. I apologized. You were right. I was wrong.
He hit send and turned off his phone. He didn't know if the community would forgive him. He didn't know if his friendship with Maya could be repaired to what it once was. He knew that trust, once broken, was like a screenshot. It could never be fully deleted. But as he sat in the quiet darkness, he felt a profound shift inside him. He had spent years building a reputation as the funniest guy in the room. Now, all he wanted was to be a good one. He was finally ready to face the echo of his actions, not with a joke, but with responsibility. What we can learn from this story: the moral. Intention versus impact. The most important lesson is that your intention doesn't cancel out the impact of your actions. Even though Liam only meant to be funny, what truly mattered was the real hurt his joke caused. Our words have power, and we are responsible for their consequences, regardless of our original intent. Nothing is truly private online. This story is a powerful reminder that in the digital age, the line between a private space and the public world is dangerously thin. Anything you post can be screenshotted and shared in an instant. Once it's online, you lose control. The role of a true friend. A true friend isn't just someone who laughs at your jokes. It's someone who has the courage to hold you accountable. Maya wasn't being disloyal. She was being a true friend by forcing Liam to confront the harm he had caused, pushing him to be a better person. Empathy is a choice. The turning point of the story is when Liam finally chooses empathy over defensiveness. He stopped thinking about how the situation affected him and started thinking about how it affected others. Empathy isn't just a feeling. It's a conscious choice to see the world from another person's perspective. Responsibility is the first step to growth. The story isn't just about a mistake. It's about what comes after.
Liam's decision to take responsibility by apologizing to his friend and the community was the first step toward real maturity. Acknowledging our mistakes is how we learn and grow from them.